Hello YouTube, I hope you're having a wagtastic day out there. This is Universe Bear from the Wagatorium with yet another Warhammer Total War battle replay. I Slap Wookiees is my opponent playing Skaven over here, and he's brought Lord Skroak against good old Wurzag's Green Tide over here. So let's start off with my opponent's build. Greenskins and Skaven, one of the more balanced matches for Skaven. I think they don't have a ton of good matchups, and this one I don't think is favored for them either, but it's pretty even. They both have bad leadership, and they both have some good tools against each other, I find. So I usually have a good fight against Skaven. So you can see he brought some clan rat with spears and shields in the front line. Nothing too pricey, really probably here to absorb that wog. Make sure that I kind of wasted on his cheaper chaff units, which is definitely a good call. And they have 24 melee attack. Greenskins usually have pretty low defense, so they're still going to get some damage in there. And then he can follow that up with these Plague Monks, who have 35 weapon strength and some bonus versus infantry. Pretty strong, got a good leadership actually, better than I thought for Skaven. So you can follow that up after I come in with the Wog and just tear up whatever's left. I think that's a pretty good idea for sure. You can see he has Assassin on this side. I guess he's just got one Assassin, but it's got trophy heads, which can... well, he's also got this Rival High Talisman, which brings a minus 44 melee attack. In a big area, which is definitely useful. It'll negate the Wog. He's also got trophy heads, which brings down melee defense and melee attack, so that's useful for ganking lords. And then concealment bombs, so you can run around and hide. You did bring Lord Skroak over here, probably the most competitive lord for the Skaven right now. He's got minus 10 leadership on his melee attack, which is pretty useful. If he puts that into the front line, he could rout some of my troops pretty easily, especially in any kind of blob situation. He brought the Liber Bubonicus, I guess that's how you say that, which does good damage against lords and single entities. So again, good for ganking. Rod of Corruption, just a good damage ability. Stand your ground to get a little bit more defense, and then some rat summons. A Wither to get rid of armor, I guess in case I brought some black orcs or something with a little bit of armor. And then his minus 5 melee attack in an aura, which is a constant, which is really useful. You can see he's also brought 2 Doom Wheels. Doom Wheels are pretty good against the Greenskins. They have 100 armor and they do good damage. They cause fear and terror. So, you know, they're hard to take down for the Greenskins, and they also cause that fear and terror, which really helps rout them. And since they're fast, they can get in and get some rear charges, do a ton of leadership loss, and then also do a fair amount of damage as well. He's also got 2 units of Rat Ogres here. Rat Ogres are fast. They have high mass. They can block stuff in. If he does get the Assassin and Lord Skroak with his abilities on Wurzag and just kind of blocks him in with the Rat Ogres, it'd be really hard for Wurzag to get away in that situation. So definitely a good pick for sure. You can see over here we got some Clan Rat or Spears. I guess just in reserve, maybe in case I have something that's going to come in and you know, kind of sneak you through the back there. You can take a look at what I've got on this side. I brought a few skirmishers here. Mogrim's Mangy Marauders to get that AP, be useful against things like the Doom Wheel, for instance. We also have some Goblin Wolf Riders over here. Just super cheap skirmishers. 350 gold, you really can't go wrong. 16 missile damage, 60 units, super fast, 92. Especially against the Skaven, who don't tend to have the most armor. They'll do really well against these Plague Monks. And yeah, and when they run out of ammo, they can chase off routing units, which is really good against the Skaven, because their units tend to rout pretty quick. You'll see the main chunk of my army is 2 spiders. One of them being the Arachnarok Queen. This is probably not a competitive build, but it's definitely a lot of fun. And I did this because a few Skaven players were bringing double Hell Pit Abominations against me. So I thought, why not counter that with my my own giant abominations? So I brought 2 giant spiders. They have, you know, great weapon strength, a fair amount of armor piercing at 280, which is pretty good. They also poison, and poison is percentage based. I think it's 20% minus 20%. Minus 20% weapon damage and AP damage. So against a monster that has, you know, hundreds of points in weapon strength, it's going to take it down by quite a bit. But because I got these big expensive spiders, I had to go pretty cheap with my front line. So I just have a bunch of gobbo spears, as cheap as you can get here. The idea being that with Wurzag's buffs, their melee attack will go up, you know, up to 30 range, up to 40 with the Wog, and against things like Skaven, they'll be able to get some pretty good damage in. They'll probably pay for themselves and get good value. Then some Night Goblins, just because the max amount of goblins, goblin spears you can bring is 6. So I have to fill it in with some Night Goblins, but they have poison, so they'll help out in a blob situation. Yeah, and then I also have a little flank force here. Goblin Wolf Riders and the Moon Howlers, who do cause fear. These guys are really here to clean up the back line if they brought any skirmishers, or what do you call them? I don't know, varying different amounts of pebble throwers. They could get in there, mess them up pretty bad, and then they can also just chase things away, which is super useful. Make sure nothing gets back once they rout. So I think that's everything except for the leadership here. Just Wurzag and a little goon squad. Best friends forever. I almost always bring these guys. They're pretty useful. So they're going to be buffing up all these low-tier troops and making them, you know, fight a little bit harder. So let's get going here. So I'm just going to move everything over here right away. I definitely want to get on this hill as fast as I can. I don't want to fight over here. I guess I could have gone over here, but didn't do that. Going up the hill, just seeing what I could see. You can see Main Grub's Magi Marauders actually do pretty good damage against this Doom Wheel with a little bit of support from the regular Goblin Wolf Riders. He's going to try to chase us down, but he's not fast enough for that. He's going to turn around. I was going to bring in these Goblin Big Bosses, try to get on them, but I'm going to get on this one instead because it's coming out a little bit out of position. See if I can't get this giant spider on it. It's going to do a ton of damage against the Doom Wheels. I definitely want to keep the spiders on the Doom Wheels for now. You can see he's coming in with the Assassin and Rat Ogres and a bunch of stuff just coming into my troops. I did leave this Goblin Wolf Rider a little exposed there. I should be bringing him back. Walks popped right away. It's just a big old, you know, cluster swear word over here. A bunch of stuff going down. You can see minus 44 attack, and then the Wog minus 30 armor. I do believe I cast Here We Go as well, which is negating that Rival Hide Talisman, bringing them back up to normal melee attack. You can see a bunch of my stuff is riding right away. Goblins with all those debuffs couldn't really stand up to all this that was coming here. This spider kind of went in here to go after the Doom Wheel, but now that the Doom Wheel's out, it's finding himself surrounded. The Queen over here doing well, supported by goblins and her own summons, so not getting quite as focus fired. Did bring down Foot of Gork here on the Plague Monks and these Rat Ogres, doing a bunch of damage, also proccing that Bonewood Staff on my goblins. Getting a little caught out here on Wurzag, though. I believe he did cast that damage spell on him, which is why he's low health. Gonna try to get out of here, but for some reason these tiny little rats are really causing me some mass issues. My writing stuff, just trying to bring it back. He's trying to get on my Mangy Marauders, but I'm bringing the goblins into screen. You can see this spider, though, all by himself, is really in trouble. So I need to bring something in to support the spider, or it's just not going to get any value, and it's going to get taken to Pound Town. Queen, though, doing quite well, because there's so many goblins there. These little rats are wasting a lot of the shots on the goblins rather than hitting that big Arachnarch Queen, which is where they need to be hitting. Just trying to take down this Doom Wheel a little bit. I know it's doing a fair amount of damage, and I was trying to take it out with the Goblin Big Boss as well. I know I need to get rid of these things as quick as I can. Lord Scroll running around, taking out my Goblin Big Boss here. So Goblin Big Boss is pretty cheap too, 300 and 400 gold respectively. So it's not a huge deal if they get taken out. I'm hoping they'll cause a little bit more damage before they do, though. Trying to bring the spider in against Lord Scroll. getting a little bit caught up over here. I finally brought in my Goblin Wolf Riders. I knew I needed to charge in the back line here to give this spider support, which made a bunch of this stuff crumple because it's already pretty low leadership. So that's really going to help out the spider. You can see the morale is coming up now that all his little gobble friends are around, and that's going to help win the fight on that area. You can see over here, though, they're kind of coming into my backline. Not that I really have a backline, but they're just breaking through this pocket. Don't have a lot of support here, and Wurzag is leaving the field, as he tends to do almost every match when he gets ganked like that. See the spider just kind of going over here trying to finish off the assassin, getting some messages from my buddy up there. I'm sure he'll see himself in the video if he watches it. Wurzag has managed to come back, so I'm just going to scoot him up in the forest, hide like every true Orc war boss does, and then Ragnarok Queen coming here on this Doom Wheel. I really need to finish it off, and just trying to finish off his leadership and you know, his, I guess call that a chariot kind of thing. They can do a lot of damage to my troops, and then I can start cleaning up all the riffraff here with the spiders. I'm using these Goblin Wolf Riders to just chase away whatever I can, make sure it doesn't come back, make sure that value doesn't come back for the Skaven. See over here, some people are regrouping, bringing them back in, just trying to kite these clan rats. They're probably going to run away pretty soon. You can see this spider, once again, not doing too hot. Took a lot of damage in that first engagement when it was all by itself. But this queen is now by herself as well as the spider retreats. Still doing a fair amount of damage, and the good thing about the queen is she can always support herself with spider hatchlings to give more targets to hit to the enemy. So now they're going to be hitting the spider hatchlings whose health is tanking pretty fast, but all those hits are hits the queen doesn't have to take. So it gives her a little bit of time so I can get some more support in for her. Spiders come back, which is pretty important. You can see over here, just still chasing, making sure things like these clan rats can't come back and help support my opponent. Now that I'm out of ammo with the Mangy Marauders and my Goblin Wolf Riders, I turn them into cavalry, get some rear charges. Pretty useful, just trying to support all my units. Gonna bring this spider in to attack the Doom Wheel. Even though it has a lot of health, I think the spider can win. It's just got way more weapon strength, and the Doom Wheel's not really meant for engagements like that. It's more of a chariot unit. Bringing in the Wolf Riders for a rear charge, so I can support this spider until the goblins can come in and really do some damage. You know, as far as goblins go. Gonna cast Here We Go from the forest, so Wurzag still helping out his buddies. Just chilling in the forest, drinking some coffee, having a good time. Now it's really turned into a pit fight here. Not too much going on the peripheries except chasing down some running units. So really we're just focusing down on getting rid of these high value targets if we can. And I think, yeah, Lord Skrolk is still kicking. So he's still putting down spells and giving support. He's going to have some clan rats come out here. Just try to give more targets for me to fight. And he's going to come in himself. Going to come in on this big spider. So we'll see how that goes. Wurzag from the woods. Using Gaze and Mork on the Doom Wheel. Trying to get rid of it. Doom Wheel has 94 kills. Probably mostly on goblins, but still, it's doing pretty good for itself, and it's got fear and terror, so definitely something I need to get rid of. And once again, my queen is all by herself. I got to bring in some troops to support, or they're just going to take her down. And he's popped stand your ground, get more melee defense, so 72 melee defense against 58 melee attack. Good chance that they can negate a lot of damage that these guys are bringing in. And just trying to cycle charge, I guess, a little bit. And now we're going to gang up on Lord Skrolk here. See if we can finally take him down to Pound Town, as they say. Going to bring in my other units here so we can kind of muck up the Skaven units. These spiders are pretty low health, so I want to make sure they're not going to take a lot of damage. Lord Skrolk, though, is in a bad place. He's not having a good time anymore. He's probably going to want to flee the field. I'm going to bring back Wurzag because I want to make sure I can get rid of Lord Skrolk. So I was going to come in with Effigy of the Git, see if we could really finish it off. But as soon as I saw this Doom Wheel turn, I figured saving Wurzag was more important. A lot of his stuff is starting to buckle anyway. So I think we can just finish this one out by clearing off the rest of the chaff. The rest of the chaff can't really deal with the fear and terror of the spiders and the army losses, and that's going to be game. So that was definitely quite a close one. He almost got those spiders, and if he had gotten those spiders down, I think he probably would have won it. I think he did some good things. He definitely brought in the rat ogres against that lone spider at the start, which did a ton of damage. One thing I think he could have done was let the clan rats go in, take that wog, and then charge in the plague monks. I think he kind of charged everything in at once. I think his plague monks would have taken a little bit less damage if he had done that, and they could have done more damage from having more health. His Doom Wheels did pretty good. They're charging all over the place, getting a fair amount of kills. And you can see even some of his clan rats did quite well. My Gobos didn't do that great, except for these guys were rocking it. Foot of Gork got a fair amount of kills. Just from the fact that everything was fleeing, these guys got a ton of kills. And that was largely due to my double spiders here and rear charging them, which is really how I think I got most of my damage done, was just by making things retreat and then riding them down. So definitely a fun game. I brought a pretty wacky build, but I guess it worked out in the end. I don't think I would bring that in any tournament situation, but it's definitely a ton of fun and a close one. So I back Slap Wookiees. Definitely a good game. I hope we get to run to each other on ladder again and play another one. All right, take care, guys.